Broadcasting live from an Airstream somewhere in Tornado Alley, bringing you the people, places, and stories from the Panhandle to the Red River. This is your Only in Oklahoma show.
And welcome to the show. We've taken you to the center of the universe. Now we're going to take you to the Tri-State Plaque in Quapaw, Oklahoma. I'm Brett.
And I am Harley.
You know, Oklahoma, we've got some interesting... I don't know. This isn't really quite an anomaly, is it?
No, it's not an anomaly. I will say, though, that you started the show without restarting the show. I feel like that's either a really good thing or...
Restarting the show? What do you mean? I started the show.
Most of the audience does not realize that you start the show 57 times.
That's true. I had, because I'd already predetermined what I was going to say.
You predetermine what you're going to say all the time, and then
it never works.
Just spit out something weird.
Well, I think it worked this time, though, right?
I agree. So
there are a lot of, I think we can agree, Oklahoma has a lot of roadside attractions, a lot of interesting stops and turnarounds and turnabouts. What do they call them? Are they called turnabouts in Oklahoma, where you pull off the road?
I don't know what you're talking about. What is a turnabout, roundabout?
Okay, like when you're going to...
Turnoff.
A turnoff.
Scenic turnoff.
A scenic turnoff. There's a lot of those around Davis, Oklahoma. You know what I mean? Just before, just past the Turner Falls exit.
Yeah.
But there's also a lot of places in the road. You know, we talked about the center of the universe in Tulsa. And then there's this, the Tri-State Plaque. I think it's a pretty cool...
It is definitely different.
It's different. And we'll talk about how different next.
To breach a very heavy subject, have you thought much about your estate as far as from an estate planning aspect?
Let's see. I have, and I've determined, the hardest part for me right now is determining how do I split 3 Boba Fett helmets. Well, no, I will have 3 kids. Who's going to get the Boba? Who's going to get the Mando helmet? Or is that what you mean?
I'm saying, you know, when Brett finally kicks the bucket, somebody's going to have to get the Bat Cave.
Or that's full of VHS tapes. Yes.
So how do you determine what goes where and who gets what? Is that a decision that you need to make now? Or is that a decision that you need to make in 25 years, 30 years? How?
Listen, time is the only currency you can spend once. And not to be serious about it, but it is a serious subject. It's a hard conversation to have, especially with loved ones and just the way the world is right now. But it really, honest to goodness, had you not brought it up, now I'm like, I really need to get on the ball with this.
Right. And I think a lot of people that are, you know, in our age group.
What are you trying to say? That we're old?
No, that we're middle oldish.
We're Gen Xers.
Yes,
right?
Gen Xers. I think that I like that. I do too. We're going to call ourselves Gen Xers. So people that fall into that range, the Gen X range, really need to be thinking about this now, as opposed to later in life when there's a little more emotion involved.
Yeah.
Whereas now you can do things and you can think of everything logically and kind of build a program that suits what you want to accomplish at that point in your life. So with that being said,
yes,
we have a recommendation for some
guidance. Yes.
Some guidance with your estate planning. The team over at Holiday Tax Group are family and locally owned and operated since 2010.
Not only local and family operated, they also offer a military discount and a teacher's discount. They get 20% off anytime you have anything done with them.
Right. So if you're in the market for that type of guidance, definitely give them a call. They'll give you a free 30-minute consultation, and their number is 405-730-3100.
Or you can find them on the web at holidaytaxgroup.com. That's holiday with 2 L's. So when I was a kid, I lived in South OKC. What does this have to do with Quapaw, Oklahoma?
Probably nothing.
Yes, I will tell you that it does. On my street, there was a street that my street went up one way, down the other, but there was a cross street called Quapaw. and we'd go hang out at what we called the electric box. I was literally 30-something years old when I drove, because every now and again, you kind of drive through your old neighborhood if you're in the area just to kind of see how things are holding up.
Yeah.
I realized it wasn't an electric box. It was owned by Southwestern Bell or AT&T now or whatever the phone company is now, but it wasn't an electric box. But we hung out on the street. And so it's almost like this, the universe, you know what I mean? Like is calling me back to Quapaw. We used to go over there. We'd smoke snipes and all kinds of, just doing stupid stuff as a kid.
Whoa.
What?
You did what?
Smoke snipes.
What does that mean?
That means I was in charge of taking my parents' partially smoked cigarettes out of the ashtray and supplying me and my friends with snipes.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I had no idea that you were such a hooligan.
I was a hooligan. Or I wanted to be.
Wow.
I wanted to be. I would do a lot of bad things and then when the kids would throw the egg, I would be like, yeah, and I'd put it in my pocket. And of course they didn't know if I threw it or not. So yeah, I was the guy. I was kind of the supplier of all things debaucherous. But yeah, it was Quapaw. It was Quapaw Street. Nothing to do with the Tri-State Plaque. But it made me think about it. Sorry.
So you're standing on the corner in southwest Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
On Quapaw.
Mm-hmm.
At the intersection of all of the phone lines in your neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
Well, in Quapaw, Oklahoma, you can stand at the intersection of multiple states.
Really?
Yes.
Explain.
This is a roadside attraction in Quapaw, Oklahoma, where you can literally stand in 3 states at one time. It's kind of like Four Corners, a place where 4 states meet, but it's only 3 states, so it's like 75% is good, but it's free, and it's open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
There is I've heard of something similar to this, but I think it's in Las Vegas. I don't want to go there, but I think it's one of those two that's, you're in Nevada, you're in New Mexico, you're in Colorado, or so, I can't remember. It's something weird like that. I have heard of something like that before, but not here. How did I miss this?
So it's true. There's a marker on the ground that's located in Oklahoma, Kansas, and Missouri.
Okay.
It is in the town of Quapaw, Oklahoma. Super small town, less than 1,000 residents in Quapaw. It's basically 9 miles northeast of Miami.
Yes. You know what's funny? You say Miami. I was talking to somebody who recently transferred to the store that I work at, and she said, "Yeah, I have family in Miami." And I went, "That's how you know that's how you know you're not lying, is if you say Miami." Miami, it's Durant. That's how you catch a poser red-handed if they mispronounce it. But I got a funny fact for you. Okay. Colonel Parker, MASH. Did you ever watch that?
Yeah.
His wife Peg, not in real life, but on the show MASH, was from Quapaw.
I did not know that.
Yes.
So as far as how Quapaw got started, the Quapaw chief, John Quapaw, donated land for a local school.
Okay.
And then in 1896, the Kansas City, Fort Scott, and Memphis railroads put a stop nearby there. Mm-hmm. And that was a point where farmers could bring hay and corn and flax and ship it on the rail lines. So Quapaw actually became known as the hay capital of Oklahoma.
Wow.
At one point in time. So following the discovery of lead and zinc in the surrounding areas, mining operators and thousands of miners moved into the area. So obviously Quapaw really kind of grew at this point in time, but it has some other historical ties that I think are super interesting.
Well, to tie into that, the mining operations, Quapaw is located in Ottawa County. Another town that's located adjacent to Quapaw is Pitcher. You mentioned the lead and zinc. That was also a mining community for that. It kind of sunk Pitcher as a town.
Pitcher's one of those places that we're going to be covering soon.
Yeah.
It's one of the places that you and I really want to get boots on the ground before we even touch it, because it is such a tragedy, but it's also just so interesting and just an odd thing to be sitting in the middle of the state.
Absolutely.
So back to Quapaw, though.
Yeah.
With the advent of the automobile, came a need for new roads,
Mm-hmm.
and this is one of those things. So, Route 66.
Yes, the Mother Road.
U.S. Highway 66, the main street of America,
Right.
linking L.A. and Chicago. It kind of finished right here.
Really?
So in March of 1933, Quapaw celebrated the completion of this highway's paving in Ottawa County, with Quapaw Chief Victor Griffin laying the zinc tablet in the center of the town's main street to commemorate the event.
You know, it's still kind of ironic that the placard is zinc. Again, huge mining community. It makes sense, I guess. When in Rome.
That's actually funny. I didn't even put that together.
Yeah.
The zinc mining operations and the zinc tablet. Obviously, the Quapaw tribe plays a major role in the area.
Mm-hmm.
They've got a annual 4th of July celebration that the Quapaw tribe hosts.
Yes.
It's one of the state's oldest powwows, and it kind of started as like a tribal picnic.
Yeah, and another fact about the Quapaw tribe, they're actually headquartered in Ottawa County. This is their turf. This is their homeland right here.
Yes, but as far as this powwow goes, it's huge. I think in 2003 they had 45 tribes from 17 states gathered for dance competitions, games, and food. So this is a big event.
Yeah, it is a big event. A lot of they do this in other parts of Oklahoma. They do this in other parts of the country, but very few draw. 45 tribes. That is a lot.
It really is.
Yeah.
So back to our plaque, though. Back to the Tri-State Plaque. Your car is going to get a little dirty if you decide to do this. The last leg of this trip is down a gravel road. Mm-hmm. Not far down a gravel road.
Right.
But you're going to get a little dust.
But how do I get there?
So I-44 exit 1 in Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to drive northwest a half mile on U.S. Highway 400. You're going to enter the traffic circle and drive 3/4 around, exit right, west onto Downstream Boulevard. Then you're going to make the first left onto 118th Street. That's your gravel road.
Okay.
The monument is at the dead end of the gravel road.
I'm already lost. If I can't put it into Waze.
You can put it into Waze.
Oh,
I
you
checked.
Can? Oh, you did?
Yes.
Okay.
So find your map program, put in Tri-State Plaque, Quapaw, Oklahoma. You will find it, and then we'll take you right there.
You remember MapQuest?
Yes.
Was it longitude, latitude? You could put that in there?
Yeah.
Was that the basis of the map, or did it actually do location? Could you do turn by turn?
You could do turn by turn.
Okay.
Literally, you had to print it. If you were taking a long road trip, you could have a book full of turn by turn instructions.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So the monument is now protected by guardrails, so you'll have to park and then walk over to it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's super cool. You'll get to the plaque and you're standing in 3 states at one time.
Yeah. So my question, I'm guilty of asking questions that we have to either pause for and then seemingly pretend like you know the answer, but little do people know we've actually Googled it, and it sounds like we know what we're talking about. When they discovered that it was actually a thing, how did they do it? When did they do it? To me, that's a lot of... They didn't have Waze.
Okay, so no Google. It was in 1857. It literally took 800 people to map this.
Jiminy Christmas. Is it that big? Is it that important?
They literally walked. They only covered 40 miles from the southwest Missouri border. And on the plaque itself, it says, hampered by rough terrain, heavy timber, and high water.
Goodness gracious. And again, I applaud the effort, but I can't imagine. They must have been dead set. I think at the time, I'm guessing, yes, it's a tourist attraction now, but something tells me that then they were making damn sure you knew exactly where you were.
Yes, but it's kind of cool. You really get a twofer on this plaque.
Okay.
So, like 50 feet away, there's another monument. It's in the shape of a cylinder, and it was built in 1938 by the National Youth Administration.
Okay.
The weathered plaque on the cylinder says that it doesn't mark the spot. The spot is actually the other plaque, and they actually fixed that in 2004 when the Missouri Association of County Surveyors corrected the map.
Isn't that, I don't know.
They had to move it 50 feet.
They had to move it 50 feet.
Yeah.
Wowee. I think I would have left it.
They did.
Yeah.
Both of the monuments are there. But, dude, this place is full of wild buffalo, all sorts of wildlife. So you're definitely going to want to bring your camera along to, capture the beauty that's all around you. But I think my favorite part of that is taking your iPhone or your Samsung Galaxy,
yeah,
and taking a picture on a spot where you're in 3 states and letting your phone try to figure out where to tag that picture at.
Oh yeah, wouldn't that be weird,
dude? I promise you, it's going to come back something different every time. Or
you've got your Waze trying to tell you, it's like turn right, no, turn left, no, you've reached your no, I can't imagine. But if you're in Quapaw, from what I hear, I know we're off the subject, but we don't talk enough about food. You got to stop at Dallas's Dairyette. It's on Main Street.
Mm-hmm.
Been there since 1969. I was looking at the menu. They've got everything. Fried pickles, fried green beans, onion rings, all kinds of stuff. I would definitely go in for a shake. I mean, if you're going to have to walk 40 miles... Oh, you don't have to walk 40 miles.
If you're going to make it to this spot, you absolutely
have to stop.
At the Dairyette. You have to. It's required. You don't make this drive all the way out here to see this plaque and not go to the Dairyette.
And not have a cheeseburger. The way a cheeseburger was intended, not on some brioche bun with some fancy schmancy sriracha mayo.
The way God intended
The way God intended it, by golly.
Plain white Wonder Bread.
Yeah. with the pink from the juice coming making the bread soggy. But no, this sounds like definitely if you're headed down Route 66, you definitely want to try. Most importantly, you want to try the Dairyette. But this is one of those things, man. It's a part of Oklahoma history. It's a landmark. It's right off. It's not necessarily right off the road. But probably off the beaten track. Why not?
I think it makes for a fun road trip.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're anywhere near the area, absolutely make the trip.
Absolutely. Well, if you are in our area, make a trip to the OnlyinOKShow. Check us out. We've got new episodes almost weekly. I say almost weekly. Well, we did. Didn't we take time off for the weather? Every now and again, we get inclement weather. We can't put on a show.
Well, I guess that technically counts.
Technically counts.
Well, this has been the OnlyinOKShow. I am Harley.
And I'm Brett.
And we're out of here.
Peace.
You guys do the OnlyinOKShow, right? Is that show where you beat kids in the background nonstop? What's that all about? That's like the weirdest music bed. It sounds like babies screaming.
If the kid gets his nap, he's the sweetest kid you've ever seen, but he won't ever sleep here, so you'll never get him right after a nap. He's so sweet in the morning when we go to get him out of bed, man. He looks at you like you're his best friend and his first love all in one. But if he doesn't get any sleep, and no matter what it is,
seriously, you need to call an exorcist.
I don't know how algorithms work. I was feeding him whipped cream off of Caleb's cheesecake, and boy, you couldn't get it fast enough. He was bounced up so hard that those wooden high chairs you put scooted this far away, like 12 inches, 14 inches away from the table. I had to drag him back to the table. Dude, chill, it's coming. 3, 2, 1.